Good morning, it's 7:49. The number of passengers on the new high-speed rail link between London and the Channel Tunnel are only a third of what was originally forecast, according to a group of MPs. So, Michael, it's not so much a doom and gloom story, but it's an interesting one. What's going on?
Well, it certainly is. The group is the Public Accounts Committee, which keeps an eye on how the government manages its money. And it says optimistic predictions about the route have left taxpayers with a debt of almost £5 billion. That's the report's even more important because of the lessons we could learn for the High Speed 2 project between, at first, the north of England and London. Well, Labour MP Margaret Hodge is the chair of the committee. She joins us now. Good morning.
Good morning to you.
A few hundred million would be unfortunate, but almost £5 billion. How could they get it so wrong?
Well, this happens to the department all the time. You talked about the high-speed rail link, the first one that links London to the Channel Tunnel rail link. But we looked at the East Midlands coastline not so long ago, excuse me, and we found exactly the same phenomenon, that they're vastly over-optimistic on numbers. And of course, if you are, it means you think you're going to get more money in from passengers than you in the end do, and if you don't get the money in from passengers, it's the taxpayer who has to pick up the bill.
But this is a rerun of the scenario we saw with the construction of the Channel Tunnel, that everyone was being over-optimistic. It had to be refinanced several times. You would have thought that the government would have learnt something from that.
Indeed, but as we looked forward to some of the assumptions that are being made by the government as they plan the next high-speed rail link, which is the one from London to Birmingham and then to the north, we're worried that the assumptions there remain over-optimistic. Let me give you two examples. Firstly, they're assuming that the fare you pay is the same on the high speed as it will be on the normal train. Well, that's plain daft, because then everybody would go on the high speed and nobody would use the normal. If you make an assumption that the fare on the high speed will be higher, which I think is a fair assumption to make, maybe fewer passengers will use it. So maybe you're being over-optimistic about your numbers. That's the first thing. The second thing in the cost-benefit analysis that they do is that they assume when you go on one of these trains, everything is downtime. You're not working at all. And I think anybody who travels by train knows actually it's a precious bit of time when you can get on with a bit of work. So they assume your productivity is totally gone. And they assume that if you're on a high-speed line, your worth as an individual is £54 an hour. So you lose that, and they build that in the figures. Let me just finish the point. If you're on a commuter line, let's say from Surbiton to London, it's only worth £7. Well, that's a silly assumption which biases you towards building high-speed rail links.
I can understand, I see where you're coming from, that you should pay more for the high-speed link. But the HS1 is from my neck of the woods, and the biggest complaint is it's exorbitantly expensive, and that they've readjusted the slower routes, the suburban routes, and made them worse.
Well, there you are. I mean, the problem on the high-speed one was they were over-optimistic. They didn't think through the way that the airlines would, provide cheaper fares so people would still go by air. They didn't think through the way that the boats as well, the ferry boats, would cut their prices. They just got their assumptions really badly wrong. As you said, we've got a third of the passengers today that we had that were predicted when they first invested in the line. And I think the main point we're making is just take a step back before you go ahead with HS2. Think about the alternatives. For example, actually, if we had better broadband, more people could do video conferencing. If we linked Manchester to Liverpool, Bristol, or Manchester to Leeds, or those sort of lines, if we invested in those lines, we might create better benefits for our northern cities. Don't go for these sort of big projects without thinking through, could the money be used better, and are you being honest about the figures?
OK, Margaret Hodge, many thanks for joining us.
Thank you.